As brain health moves to the forefront of human performance training, understanding the power of demand to activate human cognitive and physical potential is essential. As humans have evolved and built machines to handle many of our physical tasks, the way we engage with the world has fundamentally shifted away from the physical engagement traditionally tied to thought. In this new landscape, much of what we manifest begins with an idea that is then executed by technology. This abandonment of the physical effort which builds and maintains a healthy neurological and musculoskeletal system is driving our current inactivity-led brain health crisis. Everything we do with our bodies starts with a thought-led demand which activates the cognitive function that triggers the physical action. If the physical ability or skill does not exist, the mental demand will lead to the creation of the necessary new neural pathways required to meet the demand physically. It is this demand and the associated practice and use, both mental and physical, that drives human performance at every level. At SMARTfit, we decided to focus our brain health technology development on harnessing the essential neurological connection to physical performance to replace and supplement the losses resulting from an increasingly sedentary and technology-reliant lifestyle. SMARTfit reintroduces meaningful movement by making the human body the input device. Its tools and games create a unique environment where thought and action work in harmony, challenging users to think proactively and execute with precision. A core feature of SMARTfit's methodology is dual task training, the practice of performing a cognitive task simultaneously with a physical task. This mirrors real-life situations where thought and action create the demands necessary to build and maintain a healthy neurological system. Inbuilt programming delivers dual-task activities for every situation in rehab, prevention, and high-performance training. SMARTfit's training focuses on top-down and bottom-up dual-task training because both are essential. We need both swift reactions as well as fast, efficient, decision-led physical performance that most frequently takes place automatically. Bottom-up training relies on responding to unpredictable stimuli. In contrast, SMARTfit's emphasis on attention, processing speed, and executive function top-down training requires users to plan, problem solve, and make decisions prior to reacting physically. Through repeated practice, users create, strengthen, and automate their cognitive motor connections, creating superhighways of neural efficiency so that they can build the skills and neural architecture needed to thrive in a modern world.
SMARTfit can improve executive functioning better than physical exercise alone or cognitive alone through dual tasking. The research supports that. And we also know if we improve executive functioning, that generalizes to things that have never been trained, and including activities of daily living that can maximize independence and quality of life. That's it. But here's a goal. If we can delay dementia by 4 years, it's predicted that we will cut the incidence, the number of cases in the US, in half.
Wow.
And that is possible. It is possible.
Wow.
To delay it by 4 years. We're still going to have some cases, and obviously, I think you know this is because it's such a late life disease, and if you can just delay it long enough, you're going to die before you get dementia. I think the other thing, kind of at a really high level, we have 20 years of research, some of that research I've done myself, showing that cognitive stimulation can improve, and this is actually the key. If you really want to know what's happening in the brain, it improves executive functioning, and that includes your ability to pay attention, your ability to inhibit behavior, thoughts, problem-solving, reasoning. And here's the deal. This is 20 years of research summarized. If you can improve executive functioning, that generalizes or transfers to things that have never been trained. And that's what we want to be careful with. And if somebody wanted to throw cold water on what we're doing, they can't completely do this anymore. But if they wanted to, that would be the first thing they'd say. Yeah, but do these activities that you do with the SMARTfit, do they generalize to real world changes? And here's the deal. If you improve executive function, the ability to pay attention, the ability to make a new memory, the ability to remember the stove is on, then heck yeah, it generalizes to everything.
In March, the Bay County Council on Aging started some new classes to help improve clients' cognitive skills. The classes are part of the council's brain health program they started 2 years ago. As News 13's Jared Sellers tells us, staff members are calling the results, noting nothing short of remarkable.
Around 7 million Americans suffer from Alzheimer's disease. 2,000 of them are in Bay County. The Bay County Council on Aging's brain health program tries to slow down and even reverse memory loss. Clients use something called a SMARTfit board, which helps them remember patterns and test reaction time. Brain health program coordinator Lynn McCrory says the results are mind-boggling.
The statistics show that every person, and that is phenomenal for me to say, because the data shows that every person that has been through the brain health program has significantly improved.
The council is currently conducting its 5th class. At the beginning of the 6-week period, clients are tested. The normal reaction time is around 6 seconds. By the end of the class, the average reaction time drops to just 1 second.
It's really interesting to see that once they play the first round of the games, they're like hooked, because they don't even realize that in the perspective that they're actually improving or working toward the improvement of their cognitive and motor skills, because they're having so much fun interacting with the system.
In Bay County, Jared Sellers, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
The next class starts in November on the 7th and ends December 14th, but there is a waiting list, so call for more information.
One of the most advanced gyms in LA isn't training the latest fitness trend, but it's one of the only gyms training brains to fight back Alzheimer's. The Fit Brain Gym at St. John's. Everything for the better.